So hi everyone, Jai Hind, and I welcome you all on this platform of SSB Online Theory. Today we have Shivangi, who recently got recommended in SSC Tech Entry, and she's joining OTA. So over to you, Shivangi. Please share your experience, how you prepared for SSB, and how was the journey. Since it was long journey, I will say, right? So it's over to you. Please start the session.
Okay, so if I start the journey, I would say that after my 12th, uh, I was not very clear about joining the forces or something. I was more into sports, and I wanted to go for sports or like presenting at national level or international level in athletics. And even I participated till SGFI, which is now Khelo India. But then a few of my friends were giving ND exam, and I got to know that after the graduation or like graduation entry, there would be certain options to go for the army officer. So that time, the very first thought came that I'll also apply for this post I complete my graduation or whatever degree I am going to pursue. And thereafter, I pursued BTech. And even while keeping the course ID, like which branch to select, that was the one thing I kept in my mind, that whether with this branch I would be getting entries or not. So that was the first thing. And I completed my BTech in 2016. And in 2016 itself, like in my 7th, 8th semester, I just applied for CDS exam. And but that time it was very new, and I was not even aware what exactly is the pattern, what all questions are there. So it was just a mere entry. I just went and then gave the exam, just buying some second hand Pathfinder book that time. Just thinking that I might get technical entry that time because of the BTech, but unfortunately I didn't get any call letter so far because the cutoff was not there. Either there was no vacancy for CSIT branch, so all these things were there. So post I completed my BTech, I started preparing for the written exam itself, and then I got my joining for the TCS. I got placed, so I couldn't give the CDS exam then because of the clash in the timing. So, but along with the TCS, I started preparing. I continued whatever preparation I was doing, just but with the Pathfinder that time, and I cleared my first CDS in 2017. Second attempt, it was 2017. Second, that used to be held in November, and I got my first SSB in 2018. And since it was my first attempt, I really wanted to give it a get shot so that there is no more further scope of getting more chances, and I wanted to make it on the first shot. But even I practice a lot, whatever. I joined so many WhatsApp group that time, many people were there. And there was also one of my friend who got recommended then but was medically out. I kept continuously in his touch, and few students I got through WhatsApp group. But unfortunately I didn't clear the first attempt. This has been done, and I really thought that it was just a borderline case because I felt that there were certain blocks, like especially in the GTO, because that was the thing I was not able to prepare from my end. And just a second. Sorry, huh? So that was the first attempt, and post that I started just giving exams. I used to clear INET, IFCAT, CDS also again. And in 2019, it was a back-to-back SSB, like one SSB per month, and about 5 attempts of SSB I gave in the year 2019. But the results were not futile. Like after one conference out, another was a screen out, and then followed by it was a wave kind of structure being formed. So even at my sixth attempt, that was just a thought that came into my mind that this time the result is screen out because of the wave structure which is being formed. And I was actually screen out then also. So you can say that it is also a mindset at that particular moment, what you're exactly thinking. So just don't let any negative thoughts, even if you have not done very right, because that time the OIR pattern was differently changed for the INET entry in Bhopal, and it was completely numerical, and I was not that good in mathematics. So I was not even able to complete most of the questions, and even I didn't attempted whatever I left. So that thing came that since I've not done my OIR well, I'm not going to get a screen in. And also because in last time I got conference out, so this might be a screen out. So these thoughts just pondered upon, and I got screened out. So okay, things were fine. Then I got two AFCAT entries. One again was again a screen out. So that time it was thrashing because again after a screen out there was another screen out, and then about 8 month gap it was a conference out again from the Varanasi, and my attempts were exhausted already, and I just thought of I'll go for a territorial army, and I just read through some books and like whatever content I can go for the territorial army. Even I attempted that, but I couldn't clear that. So, but fortunately, then technical cutoff went down, and that was the last attempt. I was eligible actually, and I got a call letter, and then I got my SSB in March from Allahabad, and so I don't wanted to lose. So from I got a call letter in December, and from January to Feb, whatever time I had, I just focused whatever I can do well in the SSB. And before that, the 1 year in which I was not having any SSB hopes or something related to that I might get some chances. So that was a very free time where I actually worked upon my personality, regardless of whether I'll get an SSB later or not, just for the maybe territorial army at least. So that was the time I would say that that actually helped me more in introspection rather than just focusing before going for SSB and preparing just based on what SSB requires. So that 1 year I focused what exactly I need to do. I went on trips, which I used to do before also. I improved my reading. Started reading more books and books in the novel section. I even started taking Instagram lives with the veterans. So that was a thing I felt that was not oriented towards clearing SSB, but it was more a part of related what I want to do or what exactly I like to do. So that is a brief. I know it is a very long statement, but still, yeah, Ankush. Please. Or anyone have any questions so far, or anything they want me to clear out or more elaboration?
Ma'am, can I know the
Ma'am, this is
branch, please?
Shivani.
Yeah, hi Shivani.
So, ma'am, I was asking, like, in that 1 year, what you have exactly changed, which were not, becoming visible to them in the previous attempts, place where you give your you got conference out.
Right, right. Like definitely they will ask. Initially, I was failing mostly in the interview sections. So I realized that mostly in the interview section, when they are asking me whereabouts about my friend, what they will talk about me, if they ask, and what are their strength and weakness, which I want to improve upon, or something like that. So these were the basic question. I was not that much aware then. So all these things were unconsciously somewhere in my mind as well. And since I was aware that I might go for a territorial army once, maybe if not now, maybe year or later or year. So I need to prepare these answers for myself at least, if not for HSB. And what all changes, I would say that talking to the veterans, I got to know more about defense forces, not just army. It was for Air Force and Navy as well. And I kept on interacting with the people who were still giving SSB. Even I, uh, even I taught one of my friend. He just started some Arohan something, and where he was teaching for CDS exam. Even though I was not having any attempts or something like that, I just enrolled myself so that I'll be keeping myself updated, maybe for now or maybe for later year. So all these things I just did without any result orientation or something which I want to, materialize. So all these things, and apart from that, I was also in debate. So even if the lockdown was there, I kept participating in debates, virtual competitions, wherever possible. I kept my fitness regime. So it was like, I would say that people usually like leave things like, okay, the SSB over now, I just need to focus on written exam or whatever the next SSB coming on. So we should not do anything just regardless of, because we have some goal to achieve. We should do some task because we like that task to do, or it might give something for our own personal growth, not just for any exam or any SSB test or maybe anything you are preparing for, not just for any government exam. So these things actually I think were the most important I improved upon. And since it was a more time spending with the family, I got to know more about their expectation, what they wanted to me to be there. Even though this choice of army was myself itself, but I know that some down deep down they also want some good news to arrive at family. So yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So are you working also? Actually, I joined
Yeah.
session late. Okay, okay.
No, no problem.
Okay.
So I mentioned that my preparation started along with my work profile. I joined TCS in 2017, and it's been 5 years now. And I would say that even while I joined, my many of my friends after 2 years they switched. They are now at 10 lakh package or 20 lakh package. So these things will, sometime might deviate a person. Even many of my friends, I are still pursuing just for SSB or something like that. You should also switch and get a good package. But my motto was clear that either I'll go with the Tata company itself, because I know this is one of the great company, and I love working there, even though package is less or whatever things. But I've got to learn lot many things in the organization and establish some identity at least here. So if not army, I'll continue with the Tata companies. And even I started preparing for a testnet exam, which is for MBA from the Tata Institute of Mumbai, social science. Although I didn't clear this time, and that was my backup option even if I don't get selected in SSB. So I think keeping a backup option is very important, even if you are preparing for whatever exam. If you are having a lot of gaps in your education and your next job, you should join any organization, just maybe for part time, but it will definitely give you a sense of independence, and you'll get some amount to spend on yourself, and you realize that yeah, this is also important.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Thank you. Yeah, that's all
Shivangi,
from my
one
end.
question I want to ask you, like,
Even the narration in PPDT or also in a group discussion, there will be a lot of fish market in the repeaters batch. So you would not even able to convey talk a point in sometimes. How would you overcome that, ma'am?
So yeah, I would definitely want to bring this point, because this is one of the important thing I did. Before, like definitely fish market is there, and we are also drive towards what people are going. We will also go in rush and hush, so that we everybody listens to our point. So this time I just kept it very simple, that I need to speak like it's a 10-minute GD. So I would just require maybe 5 to 7 times to speak my points. And I should keep my points crisp and clear and something relatable, so that everyone can understand. If not all of them, but at least majority of them should understand my point. And if you want to cut anybody, you have to raise your voice for that moment, definitely, because otherwise if you're having very low voice or something, it is not going to help. You'll just speak and nobody will even listen to you. So that initiation, how you are entering into the GD, is very important. And like, if you once you have got the attention of the group people, you can put forward your point. And once everybody is aware that you have spoken this point, you can just stay back and listen to others, and let others, like at least 3 4 people speak, and then you put forward again your point. So you will get a plenty amount of time. So I did this in both the GD. I took the initiative. Before that, I never took any initiative. Like I did once, maybe I remember, but this time in both the GD, even in GP, I took the initiative. And before the GD and GDO, you'll analyze your group. So who are all dominating, who are all like normal, or who are all just going to listen you. So you have to just maintain that, okay, this person is not like ready to listen to you. So just avoid cutting those people, because they will not let you get in through the GD. So those people who are considerate enough, or maybe they are good enough so that they are letting you in. So just identify those people before you go for a GT round. You'll get 2 days of time to analyze your group members.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, how to cope up with screen out and start again. Yeah, okay. So this is a very apt question, because I got conference out, then screen out, then conference, then screen out. So after every screen out, because the first screen out was obviously bad, because I was not even able to gather what was the reason, because my group agreed on my story when I did the conclusion. My everybody was agreed, but still I was not screened in. So there were few things I use. I even learned those from few people I met in HSB. Like if you see any picture, just try to detail the picture in the narration, or maybe in the JD. So let's say if you see any, and let's complete this question. So if you see any picture where women's are there, or maybe they're having some, I'm just describing the latest picture. if you're seeing that there are water pots, buckets, etc., so just try to bring that object from the picture to the story. So it will help you to establish an identity of the picture among everyone. Because if I take one of my picture in a AFSB, the main central character was wearing a stethoscope. So I made that person as a doctor, and few were making that him as an engineer or some maybe some social work or something. So I brought that detail into the picture that since the person was wearing a stethoscope, we should consider him as a doctor. So that stated that, okay, I'm aware of the fact that I'm talking of, and I have observed the picture clearly. So people agreed on that, and later everybody agreed that the central character should be a doctor because he is wearing a stethoscope. So try to bring out these details from the picture so that if at all it is possible that everybody is hearing, because sometimes it might not work, but most of the time it worked for me. And so these things will definitely help in the screening. And also in screening, definitely it's about the coping up of the next time. Obviously the target of getting selected is important thing. It's not just if you're getting screened out or you're not getting in next time, but still you would try hard. You just try to improve more on the OIR part, just try more on writing part. I have not done much practice on the tarts or the screening pictures, but I just went through few old pictures and framed a theme around those, what all theme it can be related to my life or something related to any news particular which I have seen or heard somewhere. So definitely the idea will definitely come. So the idea generation was never an issue for me. And narration, I would say that you get plenty amount of time before you go into the testing hall. So just try to rephrase your story, and every time you rephrase it, you'll yourself improve it. So okay, initially you were saying this thing, and next time I'm getting some idea that okay, I can add this jargon. Let's say it was a water scarcity, and I just heard that recently a scheme is coming that Har Ghar Jal. So I just added in my narration and use that in the rephrasing part. So after 5-7 rephrasing, my narration will be automatically improved. And once I speak it up there, it will be not actual one which I have wrote. It will be much better than the one I have written. Okay, so this was my 9th attempt, and this was the SSC tech entry. So since I have initially mentioned about my written entries, all 8 attempts, and fortunately I got this technical entry this time, and it was there. Okay, do academics matter in SSB? I haven't been. So I cannot say because depends. In my Navy attempt, it was the president who was taking the interview, and my 12th score was not very good. My maths, my physics marks were just about 50 marks approx. So he even drilled me down why you're not having good scores in mathematics or physics, because these are core subjects. And I was even pressurized. I always had this thought that okay, I have less marks, and I admitted that it was something related to because of my sports, and because in my 12th I was in mostly in sports, and about 4-5 months I spent in camps or something like that. So that was the reason. But definitely if I tell that, they might consider it as an excuse. So you can say that sometime it matters, but I've seen people who are having very less marks, even lesser than me, because at least I have the average percentage, if not marks in a particular subject. But I have kept my percentage average 75% approx in all my 10th, 12th, as well as in my graduation. So I didn't think it was an issue. It was just that I was not able to justify them. Even in that time, he asked me certain question related to conversion of speed, and even I got in pressure and I couldn't calculate and give him the right answer. So he might have thought that even I have not having good marks, I'm not even able to give the answers appropriately. So just try, even if you have any less marks or something like that, you can still try to give answer or justification appropriately if you have. Yeah, Ankush.
Next question.
Ma'am, how was the parents' reaction after you told them that you are recommended?
Okay, so obviously it was didn't tell this time that I'm going to SSB, so I don't know. But once I get selected, I just called them and I just told that okay, I got selected for SSB. And the first thing that said that okay, now yours got streamed in. So I said no, the first day is already clear on 10th, and this time it is a 5-day complete process, and I got recommended. And that time even again they were telling okay, 4th day is completed, and so now you're planning to come back or what? So I just cleared the confusion though that this is the final selection and now I'm going to get for the medicals. So then they were okay, fine. So that was something. And once everything was clear, obviously they were very happy and they distributed sweets. So I cannot explain this feeling. And I wish every one of you get this feeling because that is something very different. Okay, the question about
Somebody is
lecturate, right?
asking, yeah, lecture. How
Okay.
should we present ideas in it?
Okay, so lecturate, for me, it was not very difficult because I was always in something related literature, mostly in debate from my college days itself. So the stage fear was not much, but yeah, the hand gestures and everything was there. So even in my TCS, I joined Toastmasters Club, where I explored more on stage speaking, how exactly I can frame my ideas. And about the knowledge part, definitely because all my entries were written entries. So something I grabbed from there, and something was related to more of awareness. So for content wise, it was not that difficult. But yeah, maintaining that pace and the fluency in that environment was one thing I worked upon because even in the corporate environment, we have this thing like we want us people to understand like some slangs we use in general lifestyle, but false doesn't require these slangs like or some pauses or these things. So these things were worked upon, and the hand gestures in the Toastmasters, since it's a public speaking, they wanted us to move more on the hands, like we have to use more of the hands part, but in the forge we try to restrict at least if not the complete of it. So that was the thing I worked upon. So I started little bit on mirror practicing, just to try my whole backside so that I can speak a lot, at least 3 minutes. And all the debates which I participated were about 3 to 4 minutes. So in the lockdown itself, so I think the timing thing was managed by there. And initially, while I used to speak, it was very fast. So people are not able to comprehend what I'm saying. So I just reduce the pace. So yeah, the more I interacted with the people, the more I practiced, the more I participated. I think these things eventually helped me. So I didn't much practice separately for the lecturate or JD, I would say.
Even the candidates who are, participating in MUNs, even,
Sorry,
Shivangi, I
what?
also joined Toastmasters. I went to Dwarka once. So I remember
Okay.
like it's a good club, I will say, for debating clubs, and you got the opportunity in colleges, schools, right? So it
Right.
helps us a lot.
Correct.
MUNs, I'm talking about MUNs, Model United Nations. It is also a kind of debating event.
Okay. So I would say that I was mostly involved in all the extracurricular activities. So it was a all-time grabbing opportunity. Whichever event I'll get, I'll just go and register myself. So it might not be very good, but yeah, it definitely helped me in my selection as well because we have to submit a certification as well, and they would ask you that how you have managed all these things. So even my marks were justified that I was all rounder. Initially, I was not able to justify. Most of the questions were arise through towards the sports, that if you wanted to go into sports, why didn't continued, and all those questions were there. But then I reduced it because at a time I also realized that sports was something that yeah I wanted to go, but I knew that future was not that secure, and why my parents was wanted me to go for the BTech or BSc, whatever I wanted to do. So that thing I would say I manifested myself that these things whichever I have participated has definitely helped me in grooming. So it is not something that if you want to go somewhere, you should do that, but you can do that just for your interest itself.
So whenever you all are getting opportunity in colleges, then you should definitely go for that. Whether it is
Right,
cultural
right,
fest, whether it is technical fest, you should grab
right,
that. Right? It will help
right.
you a lot.
In my consideration, I would say that because I have so many things in my PIQ to fill, but still I had to decide which thing I should fill that will help me. So I participated in technical events, I participated in dance, cultural events, sports as well, debates, literature, whichever I felt I would love to do. So it is not something just for the goal orientation, but if you are interested, just go for it. Okay, while speaking to the interviewing officer in the group discussion, if we get grammatical mistakes, is that okay, or should we do something to correct it that time? See, grammatical error, if you are doing a lot of it, that gives a question that about your speaking skill or your English, but try to do less of grammatical error, and that will just come with the practice. And it's very normal because the oral and the written grammar is totally different. So if you go with the written grammar, it is we never speak very correctly according to the written grammar, but oral grammar is little bit different, and it is not something that you have to stick on something, and if you can correct it, it is fine. You can just counter and correct it. Even in my interview this time, my interview question was interviewer was asking question mostly in Hindi, but I was giving answers in English because I knew that he wanted me to check whether I'm traversing or not. And few things I even said in Hindi, but that is fine. Even in GD, there were few people who spoke in Hindi, few things, because there are slangs even in the narration, some policies or something. They're okay if you say in Hindi. Other questions? Okay, what's my age? So I'm going to turn 27 this year, and the opportunity girls are having a number of. So now NDA is already there. If you're just passed out from 12th, you have 2 attempts per year for NDA, and then if you're BTech graduate, then you have again 2 entries per year. If you're NCC, then again you have two entries per year. If you clear CDS exam, 2 entries per year. After 2 entries, Navy 2 entries, and Coast Guard is also there. So you can say that around at least 2 entries you can get in any of the case. And till the
Ma'am,
about the Mhm.
ma'am, I have three questions to ask.
Okay.
My first question is, ma'am, I have never like confused in the branch. You are from EXTC, right?
Sorry, which one? Which? It's
The
information
branch of
technology.
engineering.
My branch is
Okay, information
information
technology.
technology.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I am doing same thing, and say I had got placed from TCS recently. So, ma'am, just want to ask you how you manage after like coming like now they are giving online, like there will be online. So after that, how you manage your time? And third question is, ma'am, when they, like my SSB is now in August, so how you manage and what you did like when there is SSB is lot time, what you do in your like after doing job?
Since I mentioned my preparation started with job itself. So initially it was a very training time and it was not very hefty. It was just 8 to 5 and remaining time you were having for yourself. And but I was also a bit traveler, so I have to manage both the time. So at least I tried to maintain a few hours. And in office, I used to give like in between times you get internet. Like that time it was offline. So I just used to switch from the tabs to tabs so that I can practice some of the questions. So reasoning for the written exam, I'm just mentioning. For reasoning, maths, I used to practice in office itself. And for GK, etc., because it was a learning or thorough reading from a book, so that I used to do at home. And obviously, I took a lot of time to clear my exam. And for SSB, since you mentioned that you have about in August, right?
Yes, ma'am. And like I have long time. So what I need to do right in
So you just have 2 months of time. You don't have much time, but you can start off maybe first with the OIR, or maybe like keeping the OIR at the last as well. For the last 1 week, completely OIR, and you can just brief down every single question. I did again this time, even though I have done this before also, but again, just keeping that as a last attempt. I again wrote down each and every question in my diary, and I wrote every
Yeah.
answer over there. What
So,
is my strength? What is my
just a minute, Shivangi. This session will be ending very soon, so you all can join the same link again. Okay. So I'm ending this session. You can join the same link.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
कि मतलब कैसे करना और अगर anyone is not comfortable with English तो बता सकते हैं मुझे.
I'm fine with English.
So about the the last 2 months, if I would say my one, which I did. So just start writing each and every question from your interview, because sometimes those answers are your unconsciously in your mind, but once when a person is asking you, you're not able to answer those questions. So just write each and every question, like normally these questions: 5 qualities of your parents, 5 bad qualities of your parents, some instances related to this, why you think that this is a bad quality of them, or what quality you want to pursue from them, what qualities they like about you. So you should have all these answers. About your friends, they would ask that who are your best friend. So have some names, if even if you don't have, some people will be there who will be more than a best friend or something like that. So just write their qualities, some instances related to those, what qualities you want to capture of them, and answers related to those, like about your school and college, what is the motto of your school, when it was established, and how long it has been running, and what is the ranking, state board ranking, all these general static questions related to your PIQ. So whatever information you are giving in the PIQ, you should have complete knowledge on that. And about your family or siblings, what exactly the advice you gave to them, what exactly advice they gave to you. So all this answer should be written at least. If you have sufficient time, just write it down and just go through it. In maybe after a 1 week, you'll have some more answers to it. So I used to write in a note. There is a mobile note, and whatever answers I get in my mind while thinking, so I just write it down and later I write it in paper. And so that was the interview part. So just write each and every answers in a diary, a single diary or maybe a register, and just go through all the answers whenever you have time, and just fill the PIQ at least 10 times. Whatever PIQ you are going to write there, just fill the PIQ 10 times here, so that you don't miss any specific details there, because you have very less time, and you might miss out on the details, like maybe in the sports section, if you say that the duration of the sports, you should be aware that you started this game in maybe 2016 till 2019. You should be aware of the details, and if you write it down just maybe 10 times, you'll be aware, and you'll be able to easily recognize it at the point when you're going to write it. And prepare your SD beforehand, because that is a thing. If you are writing on spot, you might not get many of the things. And many people I've seen, even after my SSB, many girls contacted me and they sent out their SD. I've seen that they have just written one line, that my parents think that I'm dutiful, responsible, flarna dhimaka karke sara qualities ek line mein they wrapped up. So I don't see that is a very good SD thing. You just write very simple things, that your parents like that you take care of your siblings. Your parents think that you are good at managing finance, or maybe they consider your opinion while taking any decision, if not major, at least minor decisions. And about yourself, you can simply write things that uh, that you like things to be organized at a desk space. You like to travel to new places. You like to meet new people. So these are the basic things people should write, rather than mentioning that I'm hardworking, I'm intelligent, I am smart worker. All these things. You don't need to use these many adjectives. Just few of it. And if you can write any specific example to it, you can just write that, like how exactly you're going to justify that. So for an example, if I say that if since I'm working, so if I write my manager's opinion, so if the weakness, I would say that I have a delegation issue, I would also write the justification that I try to do all the tasks myself, so I register on the delegation part. But since they have mentioned, so I started delegating few tasks to my junior fellows. So that is the thing I will write as a negative point. And what would the positive side that since I have been participated in various activities, so that I can write that they like that I've participated in various activities. They like my bonding towards my colleagues. So all these things should be written with very basic, simple fundas in the SD part. And for the VAT, you can practice maybe. There are various apps, various VATs available. Just don't try to copy from there, but try to write your own VATs. And that you will realize that you are able to write 60 VATs in limited time or not. And with regards to SRT, you can just see that what is the question exactly asking, what quality they want to see in that particular question. So for boys, there might be different SRT. For girls, women candidates, there are different SRT. So for women, they basically want to see the courage factor, the brave factor, whether if they are being attacked by a person, how they are going to tackle that. If they're just going to cry out and ask for help, or are they going to take any action? Or regarding family issues, there are many SRT that your parents are insisting on this. What you're going to do? So every time it is depending on the personal individual personality, I would say. So it is a very different. So if there is a question on the snake, that a snake is there, I would rather kill it. But there are girls who are recommended, and they said that they would just let the snake go. So it depends on the personality and how you're going to tackle the situation. So just try to bring out that quality of yours and through the SRTs, through the TATs, and whichever psychology tests are there. And for the lecturate GD, definitely you need, if you are not very good at public speaking or not very good at interacting people, try to interact with more people. If not in online, offline, there are in family issues, there normal discussion going on. You just sit with your parents and talk about politics. You'll get so many things to learn. So these are the basic regular things that can help you to bring out what exactly you are missing. You will realize at every position, even for GD, I would say that even if we are sitting in an informal group and if I see that my point is not being listened, I would take that as a consideration, as a feedback myself that, okay, this is something that I should work upon. Why people are not listening my points or something like that. And you can do mirror practicing. I did not this time. I did multiple mirror practice, but last year my FCAT, I did a lot of mirror practicing at home, and it helped me a lot in interview as well as lecturate and everything. Because it is not that whatever efforts I have given this time has just only helped. It is all the cumulative efforts which was put through beforehand as well.
Ma'am, may I know the average time that you have spent for the preparation through the daily routine by managing the office work and this preparation?
If you talk about just the latest one, then I would say that we had the office task as well. So if it is a 9-hour job, you just hardly have 4 or 5 hours of average work time. Apart from the rest of is your own time. You can just get up little early and just give more time. And on an average, I think 2 to 3 hours is enough if you are giving it for 2 months.
Ma'am, one thing I wanted to ask in the PIQ form, in the duration, it is asked of the activities you participated in. We have to write the duration like 2015 to 18 or the period 2 years, 3 years. And another question is, ma'am, what were the trickiest question I think which you think interviewer asked you and how you tackle them?
Okay. The first one is the duration. Yes, you have to write in that manner. And if I would say that there you have participated in any event which was just for 2 days or 7 days and you have not participated later, you can even mention the date specifically there. So it will show that you are exactly aware which month it was, which year it was. And the duration will also help the interviewer analyze. Okay, you were active mostly in these years, you were less active in these years. So they might ask you that even I would say that in my PIQ I wrote this time I even included few of my childhood certification in which I mentioned that 2002 till now. So that shows that I have been to sports from my childhood itself. And for few games like maybe for dance I started from the college. So I just mentioned the college years, and in the achievement you can write whatever achievement you had. It can just not be first, second, third. You can even mention that maybe if you got a best athlete or something, whatever achievements you have, you should mention that. And
Ma'am,
the
from our-
second question about the okay, the second trickiest
Yes, ma'am.
question, I don't remember at all, because this time I don't see
Ma'am.
anything which related to trickiest, I would say. So there is no specific I can recall for now.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, Vivek, tell me.
Ma'am, how to tackle the questions if interviewing officer asks that tell me your personality lacuna in you.
Mhm. Okay, so that is basically a weakness, and you should first write what exactly are your weakness, and there is general weakness which is in every individual. Like mostly people say that they are short tempered. Even I'm not very patient, I would say, but still I knew that okay, this is something which I should be working upon, and at certain point I just submerged it. So you should be aware if you're whatever weakness you are and how you are working upon those. So that is something, and the answer to this should be yours. If how do I answer this question? The personality lacuna, you can call it can be simple. Mostly people have communication issue, or they might not be very strong in sports or physically active, or they might not be very good at academics. Or these could be also the personality lacuna. You just don't need to find very extremely negative. It can be very simple negative aspects as well.
Yes, ma'am. What is your opinion regarding taking SSB coaching?
So I don't know. It's a very different question. In my first attempt, I didn't take any coaching, and I even didn't feel that there was any lapse due to that. It was just the DTO thing I felt, and after that, I took a coaching. I don't want to take the name as well because I felt that after that, many of the things scattered, and I was not the one which like I should be presenting myself, and most of the things were falling upon. There are people who will be misguiding you. You'll just try to find out the reason why a person is getting recommended, and you'll just try to imbibe those in you which is not even in your personality, so that is going to harm your personality somewhere. You can
Ma'am,
take
I
the
am
consideration.
ma'am.
Tell
I
me,
am NDS. Ma'am, I am NDS parent. Ma'am, this time in my first attempt I got conference out. So this time also I got qualified for the NDA written exam. Again, my SSB is there. So my parents is suggesting to take the coachings and all. Then what to
see,
do,
it's
ma'am?
an individual decision. I wouldn't say anything to that because some people take the coaching in the very first attempt also, and they get selected also, and some people don't even get selected. In a coaching of 40 to 45 people, only 2-3 people get in. So that doesn't mean that it was just a coaching effort. So if you
Right.
really think that you need someone to guide you, mentor you, so go for someone who can mentor you, not just go for the named coaching who will be just taking 60 individual in a batch, and they will just tell you that you can write the story this manner, you can write the story that way, and that is not going to reveal the actual personality of yours. So it can be an individual decision. I don't have any say to that. But
Right.
whatever you can do is at your level is you can practice whatever things you have. That is the thing you can do. Even if a coaching is there, you can still you have to do your own task.
Vivek, you can write down what you have done in your SSB. Na? First of all, write your all
Mhm.
three parts at SSB, and you can introspect your personality first. Okay, you should look upon you, then you should take the decision.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. You can just try
Ma'am,
to
is there
find in
any?
which section. Well,
May
yes,
I?
Shivani.
Yeah, I was
Go on.
asking कि आपके marks मतलब कम हुए हैं क्या जैसे 10th के बाद या 12th के बाद graduation में ऐसा रहा है क्या?
Not in percentage. My percentage was all average, around 72 to 75 percentage. But my marks in 12th in the maths and physics I already mentioned was about around 50 marks.
So,
So,
ma'am,
yeah.
how to handle these questions? Like why there is a gap in your percentage all of a sudden from 10th to 12th and then in graduation?
So there must be some reason, like if I say that in my 12th, since I mentioned about my marks, and the reason I gave was that initially it was just a KVS national, and then I got for it's open national. So I had to go more for the camps around one month. It was a camp for regional, then national, and then the open national. So I didn't get much time to practice. And physics and maths are those subjects which require more practice. Like they are not some theory you can just read out and just go and write the exam. So I didn't get much time to, you can say, practice. So that was my reason. And for you, the reason could be vary if you are maybe
Yeah,
if you
ma'am.
were in
So,
sports.
so
Yeah.
my reason is that like till class 10, I was on Hindi medium, and all of a sudden it was I took science, and then it became English medium. So it came in 60s. So that's one of the reasons. So is it okay to say this?
Yeah, fine. You can just justify it. You cannot say that science was your own decision, right?
No, no, English medium. That was
Okay,
the main.
English medium you can say, but before that, every subject was in Hindi.
Yes, yes, everything was in Hindi
Okay.
till class 10.
Yeah, I think in that case it is fine because obviously till 10th you have already completed 14 to 15 years of your life, and suddenly you have not read English and something, and you are just going to write all the exams in English. So that is fine.
Okay.
Ma'am,
And ma'am, can you
at the time
also
of document
share your
verification,
routine?
ma'am,
Sorry.
Like how
actually at the
you
time of document
Okay.
verification, I have my certificates in CGPA. Is it necessary to carry it in percentage conversion?
Just carry the conversion document, right? If it is CBSE,
Okay,
they
ma'am.
already have that on the back side. Otherwise, you carry the separate one.
Ma'am, even yes, ma'am, for the back side of the certificates, it's available. Is that okay, ma'am?
Yeah. Then it is fine.
Thanks.
Yeah, Shivani, you were asking.
Yes, ma'am. I was asking, like, can you share your routine with us, how you managed your work and this preparation together, SSB preparation especially?
So it's more than 4 5 years. I cannot stick to one single routine. Uh, I was not a very early riser, but if I want to go for a run on 4, I can go. But if I don't want, I even get up at 9 10 a.m. And even after that, my parents still say that you don't get up early and all those things. So it is not something that if I don't want to go, then it is okay. But if I want to get rise early, I'll just get up early. All those things were there. It was not a very specific routine. There was few things that I added, that I have to read 4 pages of a novel at least daily. So whatever time I have to take out before or during the office hours, I try to do that. And at least once in a week, 5 kilometer run just for the fitness regime. If not regularly, I'm doing exercise. And I even participated in various virtual runs, about 15 kilometers, 35 kilometers. I did cycling in the lockdown. So whatever things interested me, I did that regardless of the routine I followed. There was no strict or disciplined routine as such with me. And my work, for my work, it was 12 to 9 p.m. So it was also not something that I have to get up early. And since it was an online, so even if you get up at 11 a.m., you're good to go for the whole day. So that is something I'm not going to answer very correctly. But yeah, if you can follow very strict regime, then it is a very good thing. But for me, it was not that way.
Okay. And in the weekends, like you must be having Saturday and Sunday off as in
Yeah, right.
you are
So
teachers.
we can, yeah, since we used to travel, and so if not outside, maybe in the city side or with the family. In the family, we have so many people, relatives outside, and I have pets as well. So I spend time with them, and I rarely watch online videos, but recently I started even watching some series. And on weekend, sometime I used to go for long run, long distance cycling. Like I did 50 kilometer cycling as well. And because on weekend you get a lot of time, and sometimes you just do simple cooking and just eat and just stay and rest. So there was no fixed routine, I would say. And on few weekends, I used to plan some trek or something like that.
Okay, ma'am.
You can I don't see very perfectionist answer over there, because it is a thing which is with me. There might be people who are very regular, who get up early at 4, then plan their day and then accordingly. But I think it's fine if whatever routine you have, just do it regularly. I just focus on the consistency. I didn't go for something that I have to do this. There were few months, like 3-4 months, I was very regularly on the routine as well. I used to get up early. I used to read a book around 1 hour. Then I used to go for gym. That was just for 3 months because I couldn't continue much on the gym part. Because I like mostly on the external exercise. I used to go for park and whatever time, if not 5 kilometer, at least 1 kilometer I will do. If not 1 kilometer, I'll do walk. But I have to go outside. That was a thing. If I have to read any book, if I have to switch, I'll switch to the novel, but I'll read something else.
Ma'am, where are you from?
Okay, so I stay in Lucknow. Apart from that, my native is in Ayodhya.
Any other question left?
Ma'am, as you said that you recommended in ninth attempt. So in every time whenever you fail, that you feel like demotivated sometimes, or else sometimes like okay, we can do it next time. How could you manage your demotivation and how could you be maintain the consistency? It's the hardest thing, ma'am, as a defense aspirant. Did you doubt yourself anytime, ma'am? Or else, if you doubt yourself, how could you overcome that?
Not about the doubt, but yeah, it was a thing that at a point just became a point that I need to get recommended at least to prove that thing that it is something there in myself, and that was the one driving force. And there were short things I used to keep writing in my notes, like I already mentioned about what are the things I should focus, what are the things, even the very short thing that okay, my manager said something, some given some feedback in the appraisal time, and I have to note it for personal level, not just for the professional level. So I just wrote it down. And about the demoralization, obviously, because I remember in the year 2019, we used to book dates, right? So I took the Diwali date so that I can get recommended in Diwali and I'll just blast things out. But things were blasted for me. I got screened out, and I didn't even travel to my home. I just traveled to some other city so that I can just relax some time for 2 days. And then I went home in the Diwali, and fine again in I had my birthday and I got screened out. I was traveling back by screen out and getting wishes from my friends and all these things. Obviously, there was a lot of demoralization, but yeah, you had to get another opportunity to work upon.
Ma'am, it was very hard time.
Yeah, but yeah, it passed away now. So,
Ma'am,
if
would
the
you
end is
listen
good,
to
everything
any
is good.
motivational speeches like Major Vivek Jacobs, or else like that anything, or else the candidates who got recommended? Would you listen to this all?
Uh, um, Not much of motivation talk, but yeah, I even joined this TEDx group as a curator. It was an online.
Okay.
It's a TEDx Golden Bridge. It was being done by a just BTech graduate. So I was a curator. Even I curated one of the speech of renowned retired Captain Dharamveer sir. And so all these things I just used to do, and not just motivation. uh, I was part of these groups, but I didn't hear any motivation lecture or something like that, because there were a lot of already a motivation. There were so many students around me who were preparing, and many people who were getting selected who are already serving now. So there were a lot of motivation already around there. So I don't think anything you can get through any movies or something. And I think I forgot the next question.
Ma'am, for the interview part, most of the time I feel challenging how to answer this weakness part. So, is there any way we can, analyze and write it down at least 10 weaknesses? But because when they ask about a strength, a lot of strength are there, we can say. But when it
Right,
comes to
right.
the weakness part, I feel it very challenging, like how to determine and how to portray over there.
Yeah, even it was challenging. Like they usually ask you strength and weakness. So that weakness thing is so overwhelmed on in our head, so that we will always start our answer with the weakness itself. Even I used to do that. I used to start my answer with the negative things first, and then I'll come to the positive thing. So that was not required, because they are seeing that okay, you are focusing more on the negative part. And for the weakness, if you can state out some of your weakness, maybe we can just talk.
So
because
like
that is
eating
different
junk
from-
food or like spending more time on screen. These are the there. And
yeah, but
something like not a habit of saying no, like if someone is asking for help, especially financially. So my father used to say, "De to deti ho, fir time pe milta nahi hai, to mat diya karo." But still, I give. So I don't know whether it's a kind of weakness or habit. So these are
See,
there.
saying no is
Um,
fine because maybe every next people is having this particular weakness, but you should be able to answer, because if they drill you down, okay, if you are saying no, if you're not saying no, and they are taking more advantage of you, then it might go against you as well. So you just know, like you can say that you are working upon it by limiting your availability where you are not actually required or just being overutilized or something like that. You can mention that way. And eating junk food is, I don't say it's a weakness. It's fine. Most of the people do that. And
so I
ma-
do say all these things, but they keep on grilling me. Tell me something more. These are not weakness. These are habits, kind of things. So tell me your weakness.
so you can
So
say
the
that,
habits.
like for me, I would say that, like I mentioned, that I'm more verbose. So these are fine because it is what it is.
Okay.
If it is there, then you can say that. Just try to write more of it, but just write like all these junk foods and all. If you answer this, then definitely they will see that you are trying to hide something. You're not putting forward the right answers to him or her.
Okay. Okay.
Try to find those weaknesses which are related to personality and not just with the habit. Because if you're telling your even in my initially, I used to tell weakness of my father is snoring. So that is fine. It is a habit. It's not a personality related. So there must be something related to personality, not something which is not which is just a regular habit.
Okay.
Okay, so I think now most of the questions have been covered. If any question is left, you can reach out us. We are active throughout the platform. Okay. So thank you so much, Shivangi, for sharing your experience. It was nice interacting with you, and we wish you all the best for your training. Okay.
Yeah, it was even very good for me. And the only thing I would say that please don't get misguided because even I at a point was try to imitate others, which I saw in groups. Okay, this person has did this and she got in. So all these things just don't go for this. So yeah,
Right, right. See, we are active throughout on the platform
yeah, and
in this
few
region.
things will take place in a single time. Maybe I would say that also.
Hmm.
Few things have some time fixed for to be achieved.
Exactly, exactly. It will take time. See, patience, hard work, a lot of things are there. So you have to be thorough with your preparation and journey, right? Since you tried, and even like I was listening to you, and even it all motivated me, right? In the in my past attempt, I went to Bhopal and Vizag, so I got screened out and conferenced out. So things are there. So you have to work upon it, and you have to have patience in yourself. So that matters a lot.
Like
And
जैसे
thank you.
you
Yes, yes.
like you meet so many people and they get selected and then they join academies and then they say if you were there it would have been more good. So you'll always think that okay, someday I'll also join. That is
Right,
also
right.
one driving force.
So that things drives us a lot, and it keep on, uh, giving us the thrill, giving us the new things. So that's why I keep these sessions and keep on interaction on, so that everyone can listen and everyone can learn.
Yeah, it was a great initiative, Ankush, I would say.
Thank you.
I never thought I would do this, but yeah, it was good.
Okay. Thank you, Shivangi, and thank you everyone for joining this session. And ऐसे ही पढ़ते रहिए, है ना, इम्प्रूव करते रहिए. मैं तो ये बोलूंगा बस थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखना है जब भी आप प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट कर रहे हो. जैसे अभी डाउट्स आ रहे थे, सभी पूछ रहे थे, तो ये काफी अच्छी चीज है. आप लोग पूछते रहिए, आपस में डिस्कस करिए, राइट. व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स आर देयर, इवन इन टेलीग्राम आप प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हो. यू ऑल आर फ्री टू शेयर द लिंक्स एंड यू कैन डू डिस्कशंस, राइट. सो दिस विल हेल्प यू आउट. मतलब अभी शायद विवेक पूछ रहा था कि वी नीड टू डू कोचिंग और नॉट. So Vivek, rather than going for coaching, you can practice, you can introspect your personality, because 5 दिन तो आप वहाँ
And
spend
also,
करके आए.
if you can find individual, like Even in my attempts, like I got 2 girls. We used to practice online. We used to decide time. Okay, we'll connect at 9 a.m. and we'll take us normal mock about 15 minutes each on a family section and maybe on the personal academic section. So that way, the most of the PIQ was already covered. So we did that way also.
We used
So
to
you
take
can just make a
interviews.
buddy pair or at least the group video call. You utilize those facilities and take each other's interview. You'll get more idea how to answer, and the other person can identify, okay, this is not very good to ears, and that person can try to transform it.
Very right.